Hey everyone, this is Benson from Unity eCommerce, and today we're going to be talking about something that's very important to all of us. As an e-commerce founder, you know that having a good ranking for your e-commerce website for a specific search term is what is going to allow you to compete and be able to make sales and rank for a piece of content that you want. Now, this isn't always the easiest way, and I completely understand, because there are a lot of you out there that are struggling to rank your e-commerce website, a specific product that you have, or a piece of content, and you're getting about 30, 40, 50 traffic hits a day, and maybe none of them are converting to sales, maybe one sale a day or even monthly. And how that can be increased is by discovering how you can find your top 3 competitors within your niche or your industry, or the people that are competing directly with you, and how you can figure out what you can use to outrank them. So this is something that's very, very important. There are people that are telling me that it's very difficult for them to increase their traffic and get the right target market to go up and find their e-commerce website. So this is why today we're going to be talking about an easy and simple way of exposing your e-commerce competitors and outrank them. So this is something that's very popular, and people have been requesting me to go over this, so we're going to be doing it shortly. Now keep in mind, easy and simple way. I know some of you out there are not super technical, things are not as easy when you're trying to get into the nitty-gritty of things, but I'm gonna distill this down into the very basics and the cores, and even using tools to discover what your competitors are using and what you can do to outrank them. Okay, let's get started. So again, for those of you that don't know, this is the first time that you're joining us on this live demonstration, Unity eCommerce is an independent online community for e-commerce founders. So we help e-commerce owners like yourself build a brand, experience, and a long-term successful e-commerce business. We work exclusively with e-commerce founders to increase sales, profits that ultimately build a long-term business. And every week we provide insights, we post lively discussions, tools, platforms, companies, and personalities that are changing the way e-commerce is done, right? And this live demonstration is an example of the competitive tools, as well as things for you that you can learn to help yourself and your e-commerce business stay competitive and beat the competition. And that's me in the bottom right corner. My name is Benson Sung. I'm the founder. And alright, let's get started. So, what you can expect to get out of today's live demonstration, what you're watching at the moment. There's 3 easy, simple tools that we're going to be going over that you can use to expose your competitors. And key focus again is easy and simple. We're not going to go into in depth into how with all the technical terms and everything, because we want to keep it simple, right? And that way people that aren't as technical can use it and be able to understand what kind of things they should look for in order to beat their competitors or your competitors. And we're going to be going over key info and data on your competition. We're literally going to be able to see entire links, data about your competition, and they won't even know. You're going to be entering their e-commerce website URL, and that's going to be able to list down all kinds of information that you would not have been able to discover otherwise. Number 3, how you can outrank them, right? Once we've found all the data, all the information that we need, what good is that information if we can't use it to improve our e-commerce site and outrank them, right? And afterwards, we're going to go important action goals. What can you do right after this live demonstration, right tomorrow or whenever, as soon as possible, and then get some good results. Okay? So these are the 4 things you can expect. Now, we're going to be doing the first tool right now. So the first thing is very simple, is Moz Bar. I don't know, for those of you that are more technical and are keeping up with the SEO trends and everything, Moz is a famous, very popular blog that has a lot of tools. They have a lot of free tools actually, and paid, but they've got a lot of great content for you to stay on top of SEO, Google's algorithm, how to write proper content, everything. So you should check them out. So as I mentioned, this is a live demonstration. So we're going to be going over, I'm going to cover these 4 points for now. Don't worry if you can't understand it. So I'm going to do a Google search, and I'm going to find, let's see, we're going to be going and finding an e-commerce site, and then we're going to discover how we can help that e-commerce site, even though that person might not be on this live demonstration. Let's see. Let's use men's shoes. Let's keep it generic. Okay. So we've got DSW, you got Zappos, Nordstrom, Shoe Buy, Amazon, Iconic. Actually, you know what? Why don't I take an actual e-commerce website that I was discussing with an e-commerce founder a few days ago. So let's see, I think it was called Nope, it's not a cartoon. Let's see. There we go. So this is it's an Asian fashion female e-commerce website. So they've got quite a lot of different, they're very popular. They got quite a good social following. And you see the website's pretty well designed and everything. So they got about 130,000 followers on Facebook. So why don't we look for, let's make a list of terms that we would think that they want to rank for. So let's see. They are going to want to rank for Asian, let's see, maybe Asian female dresses. Let's do Asian female jackets, Asian female shirts. Let's keep up with these 3 terms for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to search Asian female, let's see, Asian female dresses. Okay. Alright, so now this is where our Moz Bar becomes very useful, because whenever you do a search, let's say this is the term you want to rank for, Asian female dresses, right? We look at the search results, and obviously, in most cases, we're not going to find us on the first page of Google. If we are, that's great. But even then, you're going to want to rank for keywords in which you are not ranked, or you're not on the first page of Google. And keep in mind, we only care about the first page of Google because that's where 90+% of people are going to stay at, and they're going to be browsing. As you go on to second page and third page, it gets less and less by huge amounts. So people aren't going to go on page 2 or page 3 very often. Probably only 10-20% of people. And even then, it's not going to be worth it for you to try and rank there because you want those traffic, the big traffic. You don't want the small traffic. So this is what it looks like. Let's say we want to rank for Asian female dresses. You know, YesStyle is #1. They're a really popular Asian clothing e-commerce store. So now, turn on the Moz Bar. This is a little tool. It's a free tool. I'll send everyone here that's on the live webinar right now a free link to download it. Now, you can see that we've got this bar that pops up. Now we don't need to worry about this bar. What we need to see is right here. So you can see a little bar pops up and there's 2 stats that we want to go over. Page authority and domain authority. Page authority means 39 and domain authority means 54. Now what does that mean, Benson? Well, domain authority, think of it as this way. It's all the links that are pointing towards the entire domain of, let's say, YesStyle in this case. Page authority is all the links internally and outbound links that are pointing towards YesStyle.com/women. So what we're interested in looking at is the domain authority. This is very important. I'm going to mention it over and over again. And this is what is going to be used for you to outrank your competitors. So keep that in mind. Now for those of you that don't know what inbound and outbound links mean, inbound links just mean internal links. So if, let's say, you wrote a blog post and you put a link back to a product on your own e-commerce website, that would be considered an internal link. An outbound link is if, let's say, you wrote a blog post about a specific clothing or whatever product that you carry on, let's say, a review site, on a website that reviews products that your niche is in, then that would be an outbound link. You're linking to another website via your own e-commerce blog or website. Now, for us to cover this, we're going to go over thematic relevancy and page authority and domain authority. So what thematic relevancy is it's going to be an important metric that we're going to use to measure how powerful our domain authority and our page authority is. So for example, this is a good example. So YesStyle, if we go to YesStyle, we want to see for the term Asian female dresses, is YesStyle thematically relevant to that term? So is this entire website, YesStyle.com, about Asian fashion or female dresses, or in that sense, right? Now if we look at it, initially, yeah, it's pretty thematically relevant, and it is actually a clothing site, an Asian female or male as well fashion site. So we can see that it is. Now the thing is, here's another example. If we go down a bit more, ignore these ones, but you can see Pinterest is on here. Now if we go to Pinterest, for those of you that don't know Pinterest, and you should know, it's kind of like an image board where people can post things about their products, images like this. So you create a board and then you pin stuff on it. If you're more of a graphically designed e-commerce store with, you can do attractive images and use a lot of content via images, Pinterest is definitely something that you should be using right now. It'll give you a little good boost on your website. It'll link to your website and as well as increase your overall competitiveness, let's put it that way. So it's an image board. Now if you notice here, Pinterest has a domain authority of 100. That is max. So question is, why thematic relevancy is important now is you can see domain authority of 100 is here for Pinterest, and yet yes style is 54, and it's ranked first place on Google, and Pinterest is halfway. Yeah, it's halfway. So why is it, if you mentioned, Benson, that domain authority is so important, why is it that yes style is ranked above Pinterest even though their domain authority is huge of a difference? The reason is because of thematic relevancy. YesStyle.com is completely about Asian fashion. Maybe not women and men, but it's about Asian fashion right here. You can see it in their title tag. Pinterest is a social media site. The entire Pinterest site is not about Asian female dresses or Asian fashion in any way. So that is why Google, when you search for your keyword, they want you to rank because of thematic relevancy. So they don't want to show, a site about dogs when you're searching for cats, if that makes sense. So that's one thing to look at, is how thematically relevant that search term or that website is related to each other. Now, page authority and domain authority is the second most important metric. Even though you can say that you're thematically more relevant and you're higher ranking, domain authority matters quite a bit. 54, just to put that into perspective, is very, very good. 100 is like so hard. Like if you're, in terms of ranking for a specific keyword, let's put it this way. Initially, when you start a site, 0 to 10, it's pretty easy. It's not bad, right? We have some 34s here. 34s considered average. That's like 50%, let's say. Now, if you find, let's say you are bargello.com, okay, and you want to rank number 1, you want to beat out yes style. Now your domain authority is 34 and their domain authority is 54, so there's 20 points, right? Assuming that they don't improve on this particular link right here, their women page on yes style, assuming it stays 54, let's say, then 20 points is going to be very difficult. It's going to be hard for you to beat that. Just for example, okay, one of the ways that you look at this is for page authority, you have 595 links and they have 2,062 links. So they have 1,500 more links than Bargello. And that is actually one of the important factors, is how many links you have pointing in and pointing out. Now, if let's say the domain authority of YesStyle was 34 and yours was 14. Now, to get 20 points from 14 to 34 is not as hard. It's okay. You can do it. This, you can still do it. I'm not saying it's impossible from 34 to 54, but it's going to get progressively more hard as the higher domain authority is. So to get from 0, let's say, to 20, you can do it. It's good. To get to 20 to 40, it's a bit harder. To get from 40 to 60 is hard. To get from 60 to 80 is very difficult. And to get an 80 to 100 is like, it's so hard. Okay, like just to put this into more of a perspective. Let's see. Amazon has a domain authority of 99. Okay. If Amazon is ranked 1 for, let's say, your particular product, and you're, let's say, on the first page of Google, which isn't bad, and you are, let's say, 4th place, you're 5th place, you're around here, halfway, and your domain authority must be pretty high, let's say like 43, 30, like 30 to 40 or 50, that's already pretty good. I'm gonna have to say, don't try to compete with Amazon, because it's just not going to happen. Because you can see here, just on their Amazon, their one website for just this page has 4.5 million links. Like, to get to that point is just, it's gonna take years, assuming Amazon stays the way it is. You know, they don't do any kind of ranking SEO or adding any new products or do any kind of marketing. They just stay the same, like 4.5 million links. It'll take you years to get to that level, and even then it's still not going to be worth it. You might as well focus on ranking for a term that's going to be more beneficial for you and convert better. If Amazon or eBay or some kind of, you see a domain authority of 99 to 100, it just, don't try and compete with it. You're much better off going off somewhere else to rank for another term. All right. I'm getting a few questions about how to get the Moz Bar. So Moz Bar is right here. So you can actually, if you're using Chrome, Chrome is actually awesome. I love it. So for those of you that aren't using the Chrome browser, I recommend you use it. It's fast, convenient. But if you're using Firefox or Safari, if you're on Apple, that works as well. So it's right here. You just have to search the Moz Bar in the Google, and you'll be able to find it. Just type Moz Bar in Google, and then they'll have multiple links to it. You can get it for Firefox right here, for Chrome, and you can get it for Safari too. Awesome. All right, cool. Great. I'm glad that can help. Okay, let's move on. So rankings is based on these two: thematic relevancy and page authority and domain authority. Now, a Moz Bar, you can actually see the competitor's profile, like what we saw before. So you can see Moz Bar, the Moz website, has domain authority 93, so they're pretty up there. And you can see they have 1,315 links. So you can actually see they got a pretty good profile on here. So once we've used the Moz Bar to understand our competitors and see what they're using, we can jump